How's it going, people? Hope you're all well. Welcome back to Football's 12th Man podcast. Football is back, the season is back, and we're here to discuss the games in, let's be honest, a race for Europe that we're all looking forward to. But of course, it could change. Things could come up, things could come down. We've seen already some shocks this weekend, and we've seen some good results. I want to big up everybody in the chat, ask you all to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And in the description is all of my guests' channels. Please make sure you go and support that as well by liking and subscribing. First of all, welcome back, Lewis. How are you, my bro?
Hey, we won so I'm in a slightly better mood than usual. But yeah, big up for having me on, big up the panel, comment section, everyone like that. And yeah, thanks for having me on.
Nice one, Lewis. Always welcome. Dan United is back. You're hot, but you're looking good, man. How are you?
Stressed, mate. Stressed after the weekend. Watched some really good football. Evidently not Manchester United. Feeling very jealous and feeling very, very annoyed with myself after the comments I made last week. But we'll get into that, I'm sure, in a bit. But big shout out to everybody in the chat and massive shout out to the guys on the panel tonight. Looking forward to talking with you all.
Absolutely, man. Always welcome, and welcome back to the show. Lawless, what you saying, mate? We're running a little bit late because a few people were stuck in traffic. You were one of those. How's your day been? Has it been as stressful as West Ham United?
Yeah, mate, it's been long. A lot of traveling around the country, all of that business. But I'm here. I'm excited for the season to start on Sunday. It's going to be good. I've had a good time off since May, and now football's back this weekend. So getting into that, we'll talk about that, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll come back to those comments. We'll come back to that. Tobes, what are you saying? You're shaking your head already.
He knows why I'm shaking my head, but I'm not even going to comment on it. But yeah, I'm good, man. Not really had a busy day. I've been chilling, coasting, and I'm happy to be here with you guys again. So yeah, let's talk.
Yeah, let's talk indeed. Make sure you will like and subscribe to all of the guys. Make sure you follow them all on their socials, as you can see below us. Let's talk Man United. I can't really start anywhere else. Listen, a season has gone, and it looks like the same old Man United of the last 3 seasons, the same team. Dan United, I'm going to come to you. You know I am. I'm looking upstairs now, mate. I'm not looking at Ten Hag. I can't look at Ten Hag. I'm looking upstairs, and if I was a Manchester United fan, I'd be fuming with the ownership. I'd be fuming with everybody that's in and around that now. How can they expect Ten Hag to do anything with that side? I'm not being... that's nothing, not meant to be disrespectful towards the Manchester United players. I just think it's facts. I don't look at that Manchester United side and go, "Cool, that's going to do some damage." And they've done nothing, in my opinion, to strengthen it. So why should we be surprised? Brighton are no mugs. Brighton have lost players like Bissouma, like Cucurella. Didn't even have Lamptey on. He had to come on. And, big up Danny Welbeck and who else was it that played well? Was it Trossard who played well as well? But I looked at them and I thought to myself, why is it that this Manchester United side, everybody's shocked? Why should we be shocked by it? I was not. I looked at the performance and just thought it was weak. I don't understand Marcus Rashford, the hype. I've said it for years. Don't get it. Don't understand what this guy's supposed to be. Danny Welbeck, who sells, who feeds kids, is what I called him on a show a couple of seasons ago, and everyone said I was harsh. He's proved me right. I don't see what he's done. I look at the players like Ronaldo and Varane on the bench, looking at each other, thinking, "What the hell are we here for?" It's not good, Dan. It ain't looking good, bro. So talk to me about your feelings as a United fan.
Well, the worst part for me was, and you touched on it about the ownership, was start of the game, the cameras pan on them there. They're all smiley, happy. And I genuinely think that they were going to go there. We were going to have that new manager bounce where we were going to get the result first game of the season. And I just actually I got so angry, but not angry in the sense of screaming and shouting, just angry at myself for doing what I think a lot of United fans have this season, thinking, okay, we got Ten Hag, maybe there'll be changes, maybe the players will give a bit more. But it's absolutely unreal. Playing without a striker, someone's put in the chat there. Yeah, I mean, you start Ronaldo, whether he's fit or not. He's a guy that scores goals. But the issue for me is that midfield again, and it really is so frustrating to see. McTominay and Fred. McTominay, I don't understand what the hype is with him. It's absolutely unreal. Every manager that's been there has picked him. I still think there's something to do with Fergie there. I really do. I think because Fergie loves him. Fergie absolutely adores him. The Ollie years, it was obvious who was helping Ollie with selections there. With Ranić back to McTominay when he shouldn't really in the last 12 months. So it's just for me that midfield. I've watched so much football over the weekend, and every midfield battle I've watched, the teams that I've been watching, the likes of Arsenal had a real good battle. Chelsea were having a battle in there. United, there's nothing. It's just paper thin. And honestly, I don't know how the hell, I'm not going to swear because it's still 25 past 5, but how the hell McTominay doesn't come off after the first half. He stays on until the 80th minute. It's just frustrating now. Whether Ten Hag is playing him to say, look, board, you're here. Watch what you can see what I've got to deal with here. I don't know, but I'd be inclined to play Van der Beek ahead of him. I don't know why Van der Beek isn't playing ahead of him. The only thing I can think of is his height. But at the end of the day, if you're worried about height, why sign a 5'8" centre back? Who, by the way, Martinez. If I'm Arsenal after Sunday, I'm watching thinking, we've dodged the bullet here because he was atrocious. I mean, atrocious. Everyone that I spoke to, down here in my fan base, they were all saying, "Oh yeah, but that shot he had, bollocks to his shot. He's a defender. He's a centre back. I couldn't give a crap about the shot. He was sliding in. He was naive with his tackles. He won a couple of aerial duels. He just looked so out of place that it was just ridiculous. Now maybe he'll come on and start playing well as the team gels, but that team shouldn't be gelling because there's 5 or 6 in that team still that shouldn't be anywhere near the first team squad. So it's been frustrating, but again, it's not what are we surprised? Is anybody on this panel or in this chat surprised?
But Dan, it don't seem like
you're surprised, Dan, because last week on this channel, you predicted Manchester United to get 4th.
Lawless, we're still ahead of you on the table, mate. Luckily, my alphabet.
And the gold.
I did.
For now.
That's the thing, mate. I predicted 4th because, like an idiot, we got Ten Hag in, and I was thinking we're going to get some signings. I think we're going to be right this season. But I watched on Sunday the players who supposedly give their all in pre-season crumble in front of the crowd again. Rashford, you spoke about, was just awful. Eriksen was decent, but look at Eriksen, Tobes. You had him playing for you guys. We ended up with Eriksen playing in the holding role. Eriksen is not a holding midfielder. I mean, he did a job there, but it's ridiculous. So, yeah, naivety from me, Lawless, mate. Honestly, that new season, that excitement, when really I should have just looked at what
are you feeling now?
What am I feeling now?
Yeah, well, what are you feeling now?
Mate, I nearly left the chat on. I nearly left our chat on Sunday. I thought, fuck it, I need to get pelters here.
Dan, you might have to get him on that. What's that Fight for Survival show or something? You might have to drop him down to that.
Oh, here we go.
Listen, don't get too cocky, man, because trust me. Listen, I think I'll come to you, Lawless, because like you predicted West Ham to have a fight out with United season. You think that you got a chance to finishing above them. Like looking at the performance at the weekend, and we'll come on to West Ham separately, but Man United look a shambles, bro.
Yeah, look, new season, same shit, and that's the thing. They've got the same players for the most part, a couple of new signings that haven't really impressed, but that team needs major surgery. It needs a complete overhaul. And I don't know why people thought that, okay, let's get Ten Hag in and let's give him a few signings. Like that would change anything. Look how many signings they've had since flipping Fergie time and all that, all these managers and things like that. Jose Mourinho was right when he said that finishing second with that team was one of the best, achievements.
Anyone got an echo? Sorry, just
yeah, I've got an echo, man. Is that you, Dan? Do you want to go on mute?
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, 2 seconds.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
Testing 1 2.
Testing.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Turn on. Go to settings and turn on echo cancellation. That will fix it for you.
There we go. Was that better?
No, Jose was right basically.
Oh, much better.
And this is going to be a long road for them. And when I watched the Sky Sports thing. What's his name? The geezer about what he said about Man United. He was so right, like the debt they're in. Under the Glazers, I can't see any improvement. They might as well, the fans might as well give up any hope of them being the old Man United under these owners because it's not happening. Best they can hope for is fourth, really. but I think that's a step too far at this point.
But Lawless, you said about the signings we've made. If you look at the signings we've made, we've actually only spent 50 million because Malacia and Pereira sort of cancelled themselves out with the fees they had. Ericsson's on a free. I think Martinez was 57, 58. Considering you're bringing a manager in and you're telling him, look, this is a project, but we believe you're the right man to take this project on, to go on and bring the players in and build the squad that you need. But then for the start of the season, to only spend 58 million quid, it's absolutely atrocious. And how those owners, how they can sit there on the first game of the season, big smiles. Honestly, are they stupid or just completely don't understand football at all? Because it's just an embarrassment. And I think it's the latter. Sick of it. It's sick of it.
I think it's the latter, bro. Because I look at it. Dan United, can you just go on mute when you're not talking this and echo on your mic for some reason? But I look at it and I think I look at Ten Hag and I just thought, I feel sorry for you, man. Like, what are you supposed to do with this team? They are clueless.
Do you feel sorry for him? Do you?
I feel sorry for Ten Hag. I don't feel sorry for Manchester United as a club. I feel sorry for Ten Hag because what is he supposed to do, Lawless? He's come in there with a team that is trash. They've got rid of a couple of them, like the Lingards, Pogbas, and the Matiches of this world. But there's so much more to it than just getting rid of a couple of bad eggs. I don't think that side's good enough. It doesn't look to me like they're doing anything in the summer to do anything to make me change my mind about where they're going. There doesn't seem to be a plan because Ericsson looks like a now signing. Martinez doesn't look like a now signing. They're now linked with Arnautovic, which you know all about, Lawless, 33-year-old. That just sounds like a Falcao or a Cavani or an Ibrahimovic signing. So where are they moving towards? Like, are they trying to buy players to win something now? Are they trying to have a plan to try and implement something in the coming years? What are they actually doing? And that's why I look at the club as a whole, not just the manager and just the players.
Do you think that's more fault Ten Hag for taking the job, though? Because really, he should have seen it. And I think when they sacked Ragnick, or they let Ragnick go, relieved him of his duties, after he was calling out the club and saying how much work needed to be done, that should have sent alarm bells ringing. I know Ten Hag probably wouldn't have wanted to work with him, wants to do things his own way. But the fact that, he was so vocal about what was needed and he goes, he took the paycheck. Yeah, I mean, he should have, everyone could see the problems, that with that club and the massive work that needed to be done. Maybe he bet on himself and he thought, I can deal with that. I can turn that club around. But he made that choice. So, he's going to have to deal with it. He's going to have to try and turn the club around or end up like the rest of the Man United managers that have tried.
Fair play, man. Lewis, what's your thoughts, bro?
On this whole Ten Hag situation, just United in general.
United in general, bro.
I'll be real. I wasn't going to say too much about United because I wanted to see how they initially play out under Erik Ten Hag, but literally was the exact same thing. And I'll be real, I don't know how McFred's lasted 3-4 separate different managers. Like, that is unbelievable. I thought William was hard to flush, but you lot with McTominay and Fred is an absolute madness. Man United, I think just based off that one game alone, I don't want to be too reactionary, but if they continue to play like that over the next few weeks, we can't even consider them in the top 4 race because the golfing class is just massive compared to likes of Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal. Hell, if West Ham pull up over the next few weeks, could even be West Ham as well. We're not going to throw them out of the race. But for Manchester United, boy, they ain't got a midfield. Their defense is looking like an absolute mess. The attack is, I won't say too much because our attack's wank as well. But your attack isn't really looking the best either. But it's a transitional season for you guys, and you lot understand that as well. So I think from a Manchester United fan's perspective, all they need to see is progress, and it is still too early to say. Like, he does need to still bed in his team over the next month or two. Maybe see if after a while they could start getting some consistency, understanding the style of play a little bit more. But it just showed how far Manchester United have to go to get back to that level. And it's a lot to ask for Ten Hag to get him back to a top 4 standard this season. So probably just looking at the cups if they get lucky. But it looks long from a Manchester United fan's perspective. I feel for you, Dan.
This is a transitional decade for them. Like, talk about how many transitional seasons is this club getting? It's hilarious. Like,
I can't even say too much. We've had about 4 this decade as well. Like, we're both on the same wavelength.
I hate that. I hate transition. They're in transitional season. What does that even mean? Like, what? So you just write the season off? It's mad, isn't it? Like, this is a full season to play for competitions, cup competitions, places in the league. It's mad. Before I bring Dan back in, Tobes, I want your thoughts on this because as a Tottenham fan, If you were a Manchester United fan, what would you want to see happening at that club right now? Because for me, I would say there's a lot of work still to do, particularly in this transfer window, bro.
I would want to see some positive signings, to be honest. Listen, Man United were not going to get it right from day one. Let's be real. I don't care how many good preseason performances they had. It's going to take Ten Hag time and patience to actually embed his ideas into this team. I just hark back to when we had Conte. Yeah, you could see signs in the early weeks, but ultimately the squad would always trip him up. And I feel like the squad is always going to trip Eric Ten Hag up, no matter what style he implements. Yeah, he can make some players better, cool. But that current crop of players now, we've seen them under like 3-4 managers now, different managers now, and they still haven't really delivered. So it's clear to see that that team needs to be pulled apart and built back up again with new players. Now, if I was a Man United fan, like I've said this on countless shows we've done, like I'm looking at that team and the problem areas haven't been addressed for me. Okay, cool. You've got fair enough. You've got a left back in Malacia, cool. You've got a centre back, but such was the shambles of their team that they literally needed to target pretty much every single position in their team. I think obviously they're not going to get 11 players in the summer, but for me, what stood out the most was their midfield. The midfield is the worst part of their team. It's the worst part of their team. They don't have midfielders who are comfortable in possession. They don't have midfielders who are good at winning the ball back. They don't have midfielders who are good at keeping the game ticking. They don't have midfielders who are good at consistently being a creative force. And for you to tell me that you lose Matic, you lose Mata, you let Jesse Lingard go, you freed up the space for new midfielders, and your only midfielder that you've brought in is Eriksen. 30-year-old Eriksen. This is not the same Eriksen that we had at Spurs. This is an Eriksen who's had heart issues, who's had a pacemaker fit inside his heart, who isn't going to be the same intense player that you saw for Spurs. And at 30 years old, he's not going to be the same dynamic player that you saw at Spurs, who was giving you the bucket loads of goals and assists. So I'm looking in my head thinking, where's the linchpin of this midfield? Where's the Pogba replacement? Where's the midfielder who's actually going to help Ten Hag keep the ball? We're talking about a manager who likes to coach a possession-based style of football, yet most of these midfielders aren't comfortable with the ball, nor can they keep it, nor can they progress it. So if I'm a Man United fan, I would have wanted to see at least 3 midfielders come in this summer, at least 3. No exaggeration. They needed 3 midfielders to come in this summer, and they needed more departures, if I was being honest. And in addition to the 3 midfielders, they needed at least 1 attacker. How they've got to the start of the season and they've not added a single new attacking threat to that team is beyond me. After what happened with my man last season, after all the nonsense with Ronaldo this summer, after the fact that they saw their attack underperform the way it did last season, how do you not think that you need to refresh this attack? It's beyond me. Why have you waited until the season started to start going for attacking options? This Sesko kid that you've just seen to Leipzig, why were you faffing around with that? Arnautovic, all of a sudden, you want him, the season started. What the hell? If you really wanted him, obviously they're not signing him now, but let's say they were going to sign him. Why wouldn't you have just made a move for him a couple of weeks back? It's a shambles what's going on over there, and it's not conducive to the environment that that Ten Hag is trying to build. Because how you're not setting up the manager, for success as well as you could. And when you look at the spend, like Dan mentioned, what is it, like 50 odd million spent? They've been holding their hands out, waiting for De Jong to sign all summer, and he doesn't want to sign. He doesn't want to sign. And now look at the position they've left themselves in. They're going for panic buys in Rabiot. Like, it's a mess, bro. It's an absolute mess.
Yeah, it is a mess, man. Listen, Dan, I've got to let you have the last word on Man United, because I do feel there's problems at the top. I do feel there's a lot for you to do. You're linked with Rabiot, you're linked with Arnautovic, links I saw today with Milinkovic-Savic. if I'm honest with you, I don't think any of those players would not walk into your side right now. That's how bad things are. So, what's your thoughts on what's going to happen in the coming weeks, and your honest now thoughts looking at the first game going into this season?
First and foremost, am I echoing? I hope not.
No, I
No,
don't hear one.
all good.
So yeah, I mean, mate, I'd take Saeed Berahino up top at the moment. Jesus Christ, we've got no one. No, I agree with everything that Toby said there. But the problem is, for me, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, Ten Hag in an interview comes out and he drops this just absolute bomb on us all and says, well, I'm happy with this squad because they got second a couple of seasons ago. And as soon as he said that, I was like, he's had his wings clipped. He's had his wings clipped. And the board have said, well, we've tried for De Jong. He's not coming. It's not happening the way we want it. But then you've got Richard Arnold coming out and saying in front of the fans, why would you do it? It's saying there's money to be spent. Don't worry about it. We've got problems. We're going to sort it. So ideally, if it's Christmas, for me, if it's Christmas Day today, I want 3 mid. I'd take 4 midfielders, to be honest, Tobes, with the amount of shit that's in that midfield for the to come off throughout the season. But attacker for me is essential because I'm telling you now, and you can clip this. Rashford, Sancho, and Martial do not get us top 4. They just don't. They do not get us top 4. You've got Martial, who when he's fit and when he's smiling, looks like a Rolls Royce. When he's angry, depressed, and miserable and injured, he's like my poor eyed Ford Mondeo that's gone to car Valhalla. So I think for me at the moment, it's taking each game as it comes. Completely regret saying 4th last season, but I've got to stick with it. At the end of the day, I said it last week, so I'm gonna live it, and I'm gonna take the shit at the end of the season. We'll see what happens.
We will see what happens, man. Before we come to West Ham, just want to touch quickly on Arsenal. Kicked off the season. Let's be honest, a lot of people were writing Arsenal off. Some people, not without mentioning any names, Toby, said that we were going to lose 2-1. Some people believed that it was going to be a difficult, hard, fought-out draw for Arsenal. And I thought the performance was there, to be fair. I was even a little shocked, to be honest, all being serious. I didn't see a comfortable 3 or 4-0 victory like some of the Arsenal fans would let you believe. But I did go for a 2-1 Arsenal win in my prediction because I just felt that from what I'd seen in pre-season, it was looking quite good with that first 11 that I expected to play. I thought there were chances for Crystal Palace, and Ramsdale pulled off a quality couple of saves. And if things were different, then perhaps it could have been a different night for Crystal Palace. Eze needed to have his shooting boots on for one of them, and I thought Edouard should have done better with the header in the first half. But I do look at things that are positively for Arsenal, apart from the bench. It's still weak. Arsenal still need more. We still need to go and sign a few more players. I do believe that Saliba is a positive that come out of that game. I thought he was immense. I really did. Everything that he did, I think he deserved the man of the match performance. And it really impressed me the fact that a 21-year-old on a Premier League debut up against a tough Crystal Palace team at Selhurst Park, who's physical, he managed to stand up for it and deal with everything that comes to him. So I wanted to get opinions all round really quickly on thoughts of where Arsenal are at currently, and if you can take much into this. Tobes, we'll start with you, man.
Yeah, it was a good result, really good result. I didn't expect you lot to win. I thought you'd lose. I didn't think it was a vintage performance. I think you were good in spells. First half, first 35 minutes, you were really good, untouchable good for Palace. And then second half, I felt Palace had the initiative for the most part, and your goal basically came out of nothing, in my opinion. But yeah, it's a good result. It's a good start to the season, clean sheet as well. I feel like that's the foundation that you want to work off, right? To go to a place like Selhurst Park and keep a clean sheet and then have one of your defenders get the man of the match, it means business. I think it's a statement to say, you know what, look, we've added this piece that's been, Arsenal, pun intended, for a while, and he's come in and he's actually like seamlessly fit into our team. So it'll be interesting to see how you lot fare over the next couple of weeks, because really and truly, that game was probably the hardest game you've got on paper for the first sort of 5 game weeks. So I expect Arsenal to probably win, I would say, the next 3 matches. In fact, probably next 4 matches. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 5 out of 5 wins, because I feel like you have the quality to do that when you look at the opposition you're playing. But I still think that once September starts and Europe is involved, then maybe we might start to see a little bit of wear and tear, maybe not early on, but I feel like that's when we'll see your squad sort of start to get utilized the way it should do when you're in the European campaign. And I feel like in that department, I think you're still short. I think you're still short in a couple of positions. I think you're still short in midfield. I think you're still short in right back. But it depends on what you're going to do with Norton Cuffy or whatever his name is. And I think you're short in attack. Everyone keeps telling me that Arsenal, the attack is covered. I don't think it is covered. Bukayo Saka is still going to get burnt out, and then when he gets burnt out and starts putting up stinkers, people start saying, "Where's the cover?" So,
bro, I couldn't agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. I still believe right back, defensive midfield, centre midfield, and attack, and maybe even another wide forward is short. And I don't think we're going to cover those positions. I think the rumours are we might get 2 more players. Don't know who they're going to be. Tielemans is looking unlikely today from what we're hearing. That Leicester are demanding too much money for what we believe Tielemans is worth. That's the latest coming out this hour. So it doesn't look like that's going to be happening now. So I'm really kind of worried, so to speak, about the lack of strength in depth. The performance itself was decent. I agree with what you said, Tobes. I think personally there is going to be 5, maybe 3 or 4. People would say, the 3 or 4 games that we're going to be looking at doing starting. But I think it's going to be a big test after that. I think Manchester United coming up, Tottenham coming up in the North London derby, then it starts to get a lot more difficult for us. So that's going to be really interesting to see how we start. I said to Cecil on AFTV that I think we'll win our first 5 matches, and then it's all to play for. Who knows? Up in the air for me.
I don't get how Tobes is so shocked that you beat them. I don't get how he's so shocked, and I realise why Tobes.
Where did I say I was shocked?
Well, you was like, yeah, Arsenal are going to lose. And I realize why you get so many of your predictions wrong. And it's the word you said, on paper. You predict things on paper. And to me, that's why, that Arsenal winning, it wasn't surprising. I thought they was going to win because context and external factors around. Crystal Palace are a good team on paper. And if you look at Crystal Palace, you used to pick that Palace team out when Arsenal played them last season, even when West Ham have played them, then you say that's a tough game, that's a strong team. And I just think that Crystal Palace at this moment aren't ready. They're not going to be at their full strength. They've got some players to replace. They've obviously got Elise. Someone tried to tell me that IU is better than Elise. I don't know what they're on. But yeah, I think there are factors that I see people getting so carried away, and all this talk about Selhurst Park is a tough place to go, and it's like we throw these statements out there without just really looking at all these external factors, around the team and around the result, and you can just look at.
So, do you think it was going to be comfortable for Arsenal, Lawless? Do you think it was going to be a comfortable win?
I thought it would be more comfortable than it was. I thought based on. I looked at, the signings that you'd made. I'd looked at the hype going into it. I looked at, because obviously I haven't really been watching your preseason like that. So I've been listening to the way a lot of you lot have been talking up your team, right? So I was really expecting a little bit more of a comfortable win than that. Maybe more goals as well. Jesus, I was expecting him to get on the score sheet and things like that. So to me, I looked at it and I was surprised at how close you guys came to dropping points in that game. And that's just based on what I've heard about Arsenal and the way that you've strengthened. You could have very nearly came out of that with a draw, or worse. The fact that they were so poor with their finishing and the penalty that they probably should have got. So yeah, no, like I said, to me, that was a bit surprising, and I do think Palace will get better. I think there's a good team there, and they've got a good manager, and I think they need to just get a couple more signings in, for sure. But yeah, I think they're not where they're not at full strength. I'm not hearing about this. Yes, it's an atmospheric ground. We've seen them get pumped there, just like it's such. Oh, the ground. Yeah, it can have an effect. But there's so many other factors in football that you can't just look at. Oh, they've got a drum in their ground, so it's going to be a hard game. Like, get out of here.
You're just. I feel like you're over your.
That weren't even at you, by the way.
No. I know it's not, but I feel like you're almost like unfairly shitting on Crystal Palace as if
I'm
as
not
if they
even
were-
shitting on them. I'm actually
You are,
bigging
though. I
them up
thought
because
you-
what
yeah,
I'm saying,
because if Crystal Palace did beat Arsenal, not many would be shocked. Not many
even
would be
the
shocked.
Palace fans were saying that ain't the full strength Palace that you faced. Palace fans are saying that.
Yeah,
So
but I
I
also
don't see how I'm
spoke
shitting on Palace. I'm
I also
agreeing with you.
I also spoke to a lot of Palace fans who are optimistic about the game. It's their first game of the season, and and whether you
Everyone's
like
optimistic about their
you
first
want to
game.
factor in atmosphere or not, it does matter. It absolutely matters.
But it's not the factor. It's not
I didn't say it's the factor. I said it is.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have got
It is a factor.
battered by Man United on a regular basis at Upton Park. You know what I mean? Like Upton Park was a hard place to go to, but we had some shit seasons there, mate. It was one of the best atmospheres you'll find. But you know, people
didn't you get relegated?
Oh, look, it's hard to go to.
Didn't you get relegated a couple times?
But well, if it was your point,
But,
we would have
bro,
won the fucking
case
league because
closed.
the atmosphere was amazing. You know what I mean? The atmosphere was amazing, Toad. But I'm just saying, Palace, right? I'm bigging them up. What I'm saying is, this isn't the Palace. This isn't Palace at their best. We will see Palace get better this season, and Palace fans, I think, would agree with me. That's not me shitting on them. That's me actually bigging them up and saying that team is better than what we saw, and that's not even them at full strength or full capacity. They've got some strengthening to do. They've got to replace Gallagher. They've got to get Elise back. They need a striker. They cannot be playing Jordan Ayew up front. They just cannot. It can't be happening.
Listen, I agree with some of what you're saying, Lourdes, to be fair, and I don't think, well, I'm certainly not bigging up this Arsenal performance to be one of the best we've ever seen. I thought at some stages of the game we played very, very well, and I think that we have to obviously perform a lot better and strengthen our squad if we want to be going serious about where we want to finish this season. But at the same time, I do take away 3 points, and I'm happy with that because last season we went there and it was an embarrassment. And the way that sometimes Palace can play and the way that they set up does make it difficult for teams to break down. So I was really impressed with the way that we did in certain elements of the game. That's all I'm saying. Want to move on. Lewis or Dan, have you got anything on Arsenal at all that you were impressed by or you were worried by at all before we do?
The attack again, first 20 minutes, absolutely flawless. You guys did play well in phases, like it just seemed to peter out towards the second half as well, but there's nothing necessarily too deep to look into with that, and you lot could build up the consistency as well as the season goes on. Like, you guys could potentially be in for top 4, but I need to see how Arsenal play with 2-3 games per week, and then maybe if you lot can keep the consistency going, then you guys could be serious contenders for it. But it's still one game. We can't say too much on it, but it was a good performance.
For me, I don't want top 4 anymore this season. I want to be stuck on a 12-hour flight between sat in the middle of Tobes and Lawless. That's my dream now. If I can sit there and listen to this for 12 hours, I hate flying, but to sit there, my God. Yeah. On just a quick one on Arsenal.
We'll go on holiday one day. We'll book a 12th man holiday.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I'm up for that.
Just a quick one for me. I think one of the weaknesses for Arsenal, watching the game, was that right back area. I mean, Zaha had White on toast, didn't he? He just destroyed him every time he got him. And after White picks up that yellow card, I thought, oh, it could be a red here. White was leggy against him, and Zaha, once you've got a person on a yellow card, he knows exactly what to do. He runs at them with pace. His trickery is incredible. But that game, that 3 points, is exactly what I was hoping for, especially the first half, how you come out the blocks. That's what I was expecting United to do, and we didn't have it. So watching you guys do that, I think it was massive for Arteta as well to get 3 points at the start of the season after last season's start. So it's a massive one mentally for you guys, and I think you'll push on from it. Definitely not the worst of starts anyway.
No, absolutely. I mean, anything was better from last season's start. So there we go. Before we go to Chelsea, I want to touch on West Ham, Lawless. Manchester City absolutely battered you in the name of Haaland. But other than that, I didn't think that the game was that great. I can't lie. It wasn't an amazing game. I didn't look at it and go, wow, from either Manchester City's point of view or West Ham's. But I did go, wow, at Haaland in a couple of moments. I thought he was just horrendously bad to try and defend against. And I felt a little bit like it was men against boys in certain parts of the game when it comes to Haaland. He was just ridiculously good. Kevin De Bruyne, I didn't think he was outstanding, but that pass just makes it all. I think he's going to score goals, Haaland. And I think West Ham need to look at this one and just say, do you know what, fair play. They are ridiculously good. But there was a couple of things that maybe you might want to talk about or touch on in the game, Lawless? So, what was your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like I say, as your fan base coined the phrase, it was free hit. Your fan base coined it. So let's say that. But I knew it was gonna be a tough game. I knew that they'd be sharper, they'd be fitter. I said we weren't ready for the start of the season. It was evident. Like we had so many anonymous players, like Lanzini, shocking, should not be starting in the Premier League for us in 2022.
Why not?
Absolutely
You
not.
put him in a team of you put in a combined 11 a couple months back, and now you're saying
Did
that
I?
Yes, you did. Yes, you fucking did.
He was on form. That combined 11 was
now all of a sudden you're saying he shouldn't be starting a game in a Premier League match in 2022, but you
2022-23 season.
You put him in a fucking combined 11.
Who was he above? Who did he put him above?
Over fucking Kulusevski.
No, it was Bentancur, wasn't it? When it Bentancur or something.
Bentancur is in the 10.
Yeah, I'm sure that's where I put Lanzini. Either way, it was on form.
You see how this guy talks in constant riddles and just deludes himself. Like he's
I'm just
crazy.
saying,
he's absolutely crazy. All of a sudden, it's now that he realizes Lanzini is not good enough to be starting week in, week out.
Listen, I said okay. It was funny enough, actually. I said Lanzini was finished at Man City away, and then he went and scored. But no, then he went on to play really well. He was on good form, and we did that combined 11 on form. So I'm just saying that, but we do need to, and listen, he will play better than that. That performance isn't completely indicative of him because most players had poor performances, but I just want to see an upgrade, really and truly. And look, we didn't have, hardly any defenders available. It was Zuma and a right back at centre back. That's what you'll do. You going up against Haaland with. A right back playing at centre back. We still got Creswell at left back who needs upgrading desperately. Shocking performance. Maxwell Cornet, I think, would have made the difference.
Getting Kostic, he's going to play.
Oh my! Listen,
honestly,
Kostic was never playing left back. He was never, ever playing left back.
You know what was never happening as well? It was never playing for you as well. But you seem to talk up the rumors. You seem to talk up the rumors, but.
Listen. Sometimes signings don't happen. There's variables. Yeah, there's variables.
You didn't speak like there was variables. You didn't speak like there was variables.
Listen, Potts, you can't talk. You're nearly 11. Could have fucking won the Champions League 10 times over, mate. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Listen, I don't hype up signings, bro. I don't hype up massive rumors, though, bro. You was telling me Kostic was coming to West Ham. Was he not, Tobes? On Matisse channel.
Now he's trying to backtrack.
Now, it was definitely happening.
I don't think it might definitely not happen.
I said it could happen.
Why would Onana want to go to Everton over West Ham? Where is he playing now? Onana's now gone to Everton.
Kostic and Skamaka is better than Perisic and Richarlison's signings, and you only end up signing one of them. Absolute bozo.
Skamaka.
What a bozo.
No. Listen. These signings, some signings happen, some signings don't happen. Yeah.
Why can't West Ham sign Kostic? He said. Why can't they?
No, yeah. Why can't we? Just because we didn't doesn't mean
you're clearly seeing why. Because he doesn't want to play for you. He doesn't want to drop down 2 European tiers. You're clearly seeing why.
2 European tiers.
They're better. Yes, 2 European tiers. If you're playing Champions League, then you drop down to Europe and you drop down to Europe.
But I'm not being funny. Frankfurt would have got knocked out of the Champions League anyway.
That's 2.
How far Frankfurt getting in the Champions League? How far?
But he's going to Juventus. He's going to Juventus.
Now he is. He wasn't then. Juventus weren't in the conversation.
Lewis, what was the argument? I said he'll probably get a move to a better club. Why would he go to West Ham?
But Juventus wasn't in the conversation at the port.
Wait. You mean to tell me that West Ham were the only team looking at this guy?
Well, I'm just saying at the time we was the only team talking and doing the deal. That's what I'm saying.
Whatever.
But he wasn't playing left back. I had never wanted him as a left back. I wanted him as a left midfielder. That's what I wanted him. I wanted him on the left, attacking, going forward. That's his strength. What's the point in replacing one left back you can't defend with another left back you can't defend?
You're going to play him wing back, bro. Why? Stop the lies.
Yeah, please. But we're not. I always said we're not really. I don't think we're going to play the wing back.
You wanted him to play left wing back, and now you're talking about this. Oh, he wouldn't have suited us anyway. All of this rubbish.
Listen,
just hold your L. Just hold your L and just say I got it wrong and let's move on. Honestly,
let's
why
let's
is that
see
so
what
hard
happens.
to say?
Listen, we got
Why is
Maxwell
that so
Cornet.
hard to say?
Why aren't you praising Maxwell Cornet signing? Why aren't you bigging that up? Why not heard nothing?
You've not
from
let
you
us
about
get to Cornet. You've not let us
What?
get to Cornet. Just
What?
say what you want to say. Say the truth about this Kostic thing, and we'll move on to Cornet because Cornet is a good signing.
I'm just saying. Obviously, we didn't get Kostic. We move on. Right?
No,
But
say
I
you were
want
wrong. Don't say
I
we
want
move
your-
on. Say you were wrong.
Okay, but we've all been wrong about.
Say
like,
you
okay.
were wrong. Simple. I don't care about all these other variables. Say you were wrong.
All right, what about what? What was I wrong on?
Oh my
What was I
days.
wrong?
Potts, let's
Move
move
on,
on.
move
This
on.
guy, this
All right,
guy's
but
crazy.
basically, listen, all of that aside, like I said, Cornet would have made a difference. He wouldn't have been the winning difference. He wouldn't have helped us win the game, probably not, because Haaland and Man City were too class. But I think we would have been better, and we would have gave them more of a game because we would have had someone who has more pace, who's a bit more, who can go direct, run at teams. He's good on the ball. He would have made a difference in making that game less boring. Skamaka, him coming on, if he started the game again, would have been. Listen, I'm Will Ferrell, by the way. He can be that other guy.
I'm neither of the two.
Listen,
I'm
so
neither of the
yeah,
two. you look like the other guy. To be fair,
that you just take my point and put it back.
I don't look like any of them. I'm black.
Lawless. Oh no, I'm out.
Right. Skamaka.
Ridiculous.
If Skamaka started, yeah, Antonio had a poor game. I don't think he's 100% fit. He come off injured. Fabianski come off injured. There's so many variables that made it just a dead game. But Skamaka was the bright start. He gave us a massive lift. The stadium lifted. And you can see he's just a different class from the strikers that we have had. And he's just come on trying to make things happen, pass and move. He's just off the ball work. He's positioning, the way he can pick out, passing the ball out wide, over distance, run into the box. And, once he gets fully going and we start to get the other players on his wavelength, I think he's going to bang goals big time.
Yeah, I like the Skamaka signing. I can't lie. And I think Maxwell Cornet did enough in the Premier League last season to show that he's got quality. So I think that's a good signing as well. So I'll be interested to see. Seeing as apparently West Ham season doesn't start till this weekend coming. I mean, I've never heard anything like that in my life.
How much he gassed up. How long was Thingy on the pitch for? Skamaka.
He was on the pitch for like
the way he gassed up this performance. Skamaka was bright when he came on. You would have thought he was the standout player in the match. The way this guy's talking, he's talking about him better than he's spoken about Haaland.
Listen, you don't understand.
He's not even spoken about Haaland. He's talking about Skamaka with this glowing reference, as if Skamaka's complete game came on and just changed the game.
He changed the fucking game because the game was boring as shit before he came on, and it was entertaining.
Lawless,
what did he change?
He created. He made things happen. He actually had a shot on target. He had a shot on target.
He looked bright, but you were still flat out, down and out. Like there was no chance you were getting a foothold.
But you don't understand, Toes. We have been starving when it comes to strikers.
So that's why you have to overgas his cameo.
Listen, I can already see the signs. Yeah,
that's fine. You can see the signs, but you just spent like 2 minutes waxing lyrical about a fucking 15-minute cameo. And the guy who bagged the brace and terrorized your defense, you've not even mentioned him once in your analysis.
Oh my! Oh yeah! All right, fucking Haaland. He's amazing. He cost fucking shitloads of million. He was already world class. What do you expect? What can we say about him that's not already said?
Analyze the game. Analyze the game. That's what I'm asking. Analyze the game,
it's
brother.
Redundant. He was fucking
Analyze
brilliant.
the game, brother.
They've got world class players feeding him and servicing him. Let's see if he keeps up for the whole season. He probably will. Right? He probably will. But that's what they can do. And like I said earlier, we had Haaland against a right back at centre back and Creswell. So what can we do? What can we really do? So that's why I look at it and I say, all right, West Ham, I wanted a better performance, but Nottingham Forest.
But you're still confident. You're still confident, Lawless. You're still confident. That's not done nothing to dent your confidence, no?
No, that is not an indictment on our season, but transfer window is massive. Absolutely massive. We're having to try and sign a centre back before the Sunday, which we wouldn't have had to sign if Aguero didn't go and get injured. Dawson, he's taking a while to come back. Bonner's not ready yet. Now we've got to sign a centre back, so hopefully we're looking at some decent prospects. But we massively need a left back, and I think we need an attacking midfield. We've just loaned out Vlasic apparently. Diop's going, so players are going.
Yeah.
So we need
I
to
heard
see some
Ben Rama
incoming.
might be moving as well.
Yeah, Ben Rama, which I don't even get. Like some of our fans.
So much for your depth. So much for this depth.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying.
I love it.
It's,
I knew this
the
was
So much
coming.
for this
closes,
depth.
the window
You see
closes
what I mean?
every week.
They signed Cornet, good signing, and he's all summer he's spoken about how the importance of building a squad. And then in a week, they get rid of Vlasic. They're trying to get rid of Ben Rama. They've got rid of Diop.
Yeah, but
Makes no sense.
Vlasic
That makes
didn't
no
even
sense,
barely
man.
play. But okay, but it makes no sense unless we're going to be signing other players. So we will see. Every week, Tobes acts like the window's closed. It closes. The
No, I
deadline day changes week to week. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
we'll see. Vlasic, to me, listen, I thought he had some potential, but him going makes no difference to our season because Moyes never played him anyway. So that makes no difference. Ben Rama going doesn't make sense to me unless we're getting good money that we can then reinvest. Some of our fans, I don't understand that like they were slating him for going to this Trey Songz concert after the game on his case. Like he has to like rip up his tickets because we've lost the game. Again,
not Trey Songz.
Fucking whatever. What do I care? I weren't there. I weren't going. Was you there?
I was meant to go.
Oh, there you go. You ripped up your ticket like Ben Rama should have, apparently.
Nope, I didn't rip up my ticket.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for that, Tobes. It was a great night, mate. Really appreciate it. Nice one.
Maybe you gave tickets to Ben Rama.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. This idea that just because we lost, and our fans are so fucking stupid when it comes to Ben Rama. Like Fornals, dropped an absolute, shocking performance. Not a word on his name.
He was poor.
He was poor, but Ben Rama comes on. He tries to make things happen. Again, wasn't great, but he gets all the hate. He gets all the criticism. Then he wants to go to a pre-booked concert, and people are on his case. Like I don't understand some football fans. Fucking weird. But yeah, we'll get the signings in. Like I said, I'm excited to see Cornet, and I think it's going to be interesting because obviously Lingard was absolutely shocking, anonymous on the weekend. And him doing what he did and go into Nottingham Forest allowed us and opened up Moyes' eyes that there's a better player out there in Maxwell Cornet. Better signing.
Let's just move on, man, because I'm not even going to go on about that.
I'm not even
going to go on about this anymore.
Praise Cornet signing.
I don't
Does
care.
anyone see Monteese's Revenges comment?
Come on. Analyze. Analysis.
No, that's not even a real word.
What's the word? Analyst. Analyze.
Man said analyst. Crazy. Yeah, Cornet's a really good signing. I thought Everton were going to sign him. I think he's a relatively cheap pickup, and you saw last season he has the capacity to score goals. I don't know what West Ham are faffing around with, to be honest, because there's even Emmanuel Dennis in the championship as well. I thought someone would bag one or both those players and just add them into your team, because if you add those guys into your team, you're adding, in my opinion, the potential of maybe like 15 to 17 league goals combined. So I don't actually see why it took West Ham so long to get one of these type of signings over the line. But like we said with Ben Rama, it defeats the whole purpose if they then go and sell Ben Rama.
I agree. We need to move on, but I agree. Let's see what West Ham do in the window. I'm not convinced at the moment they're going to get much higher than last season, but let's see what happens. Lewis, let's come to you, bro. Chelsea. That wasn't the best, mate. I can't lie. Very, very dead performance. I thought not really the
Chelsea.
One pick of the weekend. It was Chelsea that need an attack. That's what I see, bro. Looks like you are going to get something sorted in the coming weeks, bro. I can't imagine this is going to be the Chelsea side that we see for the rest of the season. But I wanted to get your opinions on the performance, mate.
Yeah, just a glossier Chelsea performance from last season, really. Brilliant defensively. The further forward we went up the pitch, the worse it got. Typical Chelsea. Thought there was way too many touches in midfield and sloppy passes. Also the fact that we just can't really pass forward to save our lives. In attack, Sterling looked good. But it also just emphasized the fact that we need way more than Sterling, because he just wasn't given any support. Havertz was making pointless runs and just completely ignoring the direction of the ball, or spending half of his time on the floor. Mount was invisible, had like one shot for a Sterling offside goal, and that was about it. Didn't do anything. Midfield, I thought Jorginho had a couple sloppy passes. Other than that, he was decent. Same thing with N'Golo Kante. He was decent until it came to his passing. James was surprisingly poor. He had like 13 different corners, and they all just hit the first man repeatedly. But hey, we won. I guess we won. It definitely didn't feel like a win. And we definitely still need a lot more additions. Werner's officially gone to Leipzig as well, so that means we will have a forward coming in. We look like we're going to pay the full 85 million for Fofana, so that will sort out our back five at least. And as soon as the back five is sorted, that to me guarantees we can make top four. Because as long as we have our defense sorted, we should be fine in terms of finding a goal somewhere. But we do also need to sort out our attack. There are a couple of options we've been linked with, like Zaha, Aubameyang, Depay, a couple other options as well that aren't on the top of my head, but we need a lot of reinforcements if we're going to talk about seriously contending for trophies this season. Not the league, I mean more the cups or the Champions League, but we could potentially go in for De Jong if he decides he wants to leave. Aubameyang or Depay potentially. I would take Wilfried Zaha immediately as well, but all depends on the window where we finish in the season, because that performance just showed we need a lot more additions.
Yeah, it really did to me as well, man. Like Memphis, Dubai, and Aubameyang. Like, what's your thoughts there, Lewis? Which one would you go for if you was to get one?
They both offer different things, but they both also help Chelsea out. Aubameyang's a poacher, has great movement in the box, and if you get a number 9, you get the best out of Sterling as well. Depay's more versatile, better in build-up play, can make chances for himself. Good dribbling. I think he's a bit more well-rounded and feels like a bit more of a Tuchel signing, but I would take either or. I've already said, being a Chelsea fan, you can't sit here and turn your noses up at our attackers when we have the worst attack in the top 6 by an absolute mile. So, yeah, I would take any of them. I'd take both of them if we could, but it's only going to be one or the other.
But you can sign better. Like, I like Wolf. I think he's a good player and he's shown the capacity to score and create. But at 29 years old now, like, come on. Let's be real. Like, surely Chelsea can get someone who can give you similar qualities to Wilfried Zaha and more.
They're not signing.
I hear that.
They're not signing for the future, though, isn't it? Whoever they need, like even if they get
Right
Aubameyang,
now
would be a good signing. They need now, like they need.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they can get right now. That's better than Wilfried Zaha. That's what I'm saying.
No, and I get that. Like, maybe in a future window, but it's very shallow in the market in terms of quality wingers or attackers. And I think Zaha improves the overall quality in the squad. If we go into next season and we get other wingers and strikers, he could potentially be a depth option for us, but he would be a better depth option than the options we have right now. So he would still benefit the squad long term. I do agree, maybe as a starting 11, like for Tuchel's final plan for the squad, maybe it doesn't have Zaha in it. But as a squad player, still think he's better than the squad players that we originally had.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And he's only 25 million from what I'm hearing. So
yeah,
to me,
he's got a year left in his deal.
Yeah, but it's 25 million, a player who can create, score goals, can play on anywhere within that front three. That's invaluable to us right now because our attack is meaty as hell. And we need so much additions to it. I would have got rid of them all except for Mason Mount personally, but it's not career mode.
I know you need to be realistic with it. Just before I move to the other gang, this one comes in for you, Lewis. Chelsea is so boring when they play. He's asking Lewis, how confident are you to get Fofana from Leicester? Do you see this one happening, mate?
Yeah, because we're actually showing incentive and a willingness to pay the amount. Right now, we're trying to haggle and see if we can lower the final fee a little bit, but it's not going to happen. Leicester City are notoriously hard to negotiate with. They demand their fee and they rarely ever go down from it. The only time I've seen them do it was for Ben Chilwell, but then there was more of a necessity to sell, and there was an understanding that Chilwell was leaving and he was phoning in his performances as well. Fofana's not really going to do that. But he's already said if he gets an acceptable offer for him, he wants Leicester City to accept it. And if they get the full 85 million, which I do think Chelsea will eventually pay, the player will come. It's just we have to pay whatever Leicester wants, and we're just wasting our time on that regard. Just pay the money.
Mental money.
you know what, though?
And I really like Fofana. I think he'll be a really good signing for Chelsea.
It is, but he just signed a 5-year contract.
Mad money.
And like we're bent over a barrel. We lost 2 of our 3 centre backs for free. This whole summer's been fixing the mess that Marina and the old regime left behind.
Do you know what though, Lewis? For me, I watched the game and I watched Thiago Silva, and every year, the start of the season, I think, well, he's 37 now. It's gonna slow down. He was incredible. He's just like a Rolls Royce, isn't he? He really is. I mean, that block when it was 2-on-1, wasn't it? 2-on-1. I believe it was Gray and Gordon. Gray just has to play Gordon, and he's in. And it's just that block. He's just so nice to watch play, isn't he? He's quality.
Yeah, Thiago Silva is literally timeless. The guy was unbelievable, especially in the second half as well. I'm seeing 2v1 blocks, 1v1 blocks. His reading of the game for a centre back. It goes without said that's PTSD. But yeah, it goes without saying the guy just continues to get better and better. And if we continue to surround him with better centre backs as well, that would put us in a good stead for the cup competitions. Because regardless of whoever we bring in, we're not winning the league. We're not contending for the league. Maybe we'll push it a bit longer than we did last season when we just fell apart in December, like usually. But we're not winning the league. We could potentially go for the cups. And having a strong back 5 would be one of the main reasons to take us there. That's why for Fofana, I understand overpaying. We have to overpay at this stage in the window. He's a key player for Leicester City. He's on a 5-year contract that he just re-signed about 4 months ago. And what was it as well? Yeah. Overall, I completely understand the price tag and everything like that. And people understand we're desperate too. If we don't sort out our back 5, even top 4 is looking like a myth right now. So as soon as we sort that confirms it for me.
Just a quick one, Lewis. Sorry, Koulibaly went off. Was that an injury or was that just precaution?
Cramp. It looked like cramp, and it's just an adjustment to Premier League football. But even then, sloppy first 10-15 minutes. Other than that, unbelievable. Unbelievable. I wanted the guy at Chelsea for years, and he's already shown people were already quick to say maybe he's a bit too old, maybe he needs to adjust to a new league and all that. No. Koulibaly was meant to be in a better league than Serie A 4 years. He stayed because he liked Napoli and everything like that, which is fair enough. But, bro, I'm excited. That is the Thiago Silva replacement right there.
Fair play. I had question marks over Koulibaly signing. I did. I not just his age. I had watched him for a while and really liked him. And it was more a couple of performances I saw that I fell on my sword about and got rinsed for. So I wanted to have some question marks about his performances coming into this league. And I know we've only had one game, but I do have question marks over some of his attributes. However, I think he's a great defender and I think he will do well. So let's see what happens there. Tobes, this Chelsea attack, bro, just before we come on to Spurs, I just don't understand. I don't rate any of them, mate. I like Sterling. And then it stops. Like Timo Werner looks to have gone. Kai Havertz. I mean, I don't know how people are saying players like Nicolas Pepe are completely and utterly useless, but not bringing in Havertz into that conversation for the same similar price. There's so many that we can say. Ziyech, Pulisic. None of them have worked, bruv. So I look at Lukaku, another flop. He's now gone. I don't see Chelsea doing anything this season serious with the attack they've got. So they're going to need not one, they're going to need a couple, in my opinion, still to come through the door in that attacking position, bro. What do you think?
Yeah, if they can get 2, that's the sweet spot. But I think a bare minimum, they need another attacker in. We spoke on it yesterday. I feel like Chelsea need an attacker that's got like a similar skill set to Raheem Sterling, where like they're goal threats, but they're also able to manufacture chances for the team as well. I feel like Chelsea are going to need that. Shai Havertz is going to be playing up top for the whole season. Let's be real. He's going to be playing false 9.
Yay!
I agree. I agree. I've been telling people that this guy's been stealing a living at Chelsea, and everyone keeps telling me, but he scored the Champions League goal in the final. Oh, he's been
that's why he doesn't get mentioned, mate, isn't it?
He's been a fantastic signing because he scored the Champions League winning goal, all of this stuff. So listen, if scoring a goal in the Champions League means you can play shit for 80% of the season, then fine, cool. I guess that's what they want. But this season, there's no hiding place for Kai Havertz. Lukaku's gone now. You're going to be the guy that's going to be playing through the middle for the most part of this season. it's now or never for him in terms of proving the doubters wrong. Because if he doesn't bang this season, with Tuchel putting the arm around him playing much more minutes in a fixed position in comparison to last season, then I think finally people will start to open their eyes and see what it is with Kai Havertz. I think the rest of the attack, I know they're trying to loan out Callum Hudson-Odoi, and obviously Werner's left, so it does open up room for 2 more attackers. So if they can like, I feel like Memphis will be a really good signing for Chelsea. In my opinion, I feel like he's a similar type of attacker where you can sort of put him central, you can put him left, he can create, he can score goals, he can link up both players, and technically he is a good player as well. So I feel like the attack, there's pressure on the personnel there, and there's pressure on Thomas Tuchel to try and make it work, man, because this will be your second full season now. We've acknowledged that the Chelsea attackers aren't good enough. Okay, cool. If you now get in two attackers that you want, that are more in your image, in addition to Raheem Sterling, there needs to be a significant improvement on what we've seen in the previous seasons in terms of the fluidity of the attack and the output from the attack. Because nobody's going to give Thomas Tuchel any excuses if Chelsea do back him with more attackers this window and we see the same problems.
Agree with every single word, every word. Like, we need way more attackers before I judge Tuchel based on our attacking players, because Sterling is the only one he's brought in, and in the limited time I've seen him, already looks like a success. Havertz, I've said numerous times, like, Chelsea fans can make all the excuses they want for him. I'm not giving him any excuses. I need to see him bang this season. I need to see where he excels at, because I don't know where he excels at. We play him at numerous positions, and he's struggled in every single one of them. If he's going to be our starting number 9, I need to see a massive improvement from him. But even from what I've seen right now, I haven't seen anything. Nothing in preseason. So the first game against Everton, he spent half the game on the floor. That was whenever he was even in possession, because other than that, he was ghosting. Mount as well. I can give Mount and Ziyech excuses because they're not in their natural positions. Ziyech will only play well and play a 4 at the back and with a wide winger. Other than that, it's not going to work. So I understand Ziyech's issues, and that's why I'm calm with him leaving as well, because he needs to go to another club and ball out. Who else? Mount is an 8. He's not really a 10. The fact he's our best attacker before Sterling joined as a 10 says more about our attack than it does about Mason Mount. But his deficiencies are just because he's not a 10. He shouldn't be getting played in that sort of position. Everyone else, there's no excuse. Pulisic needs to be more consistent. Chose needed a loan spell for ages. Havertz is just overprotected as hell. But even then, I don't even think he's getting that much protection anymore. Chelsea fans are on his neck now. And it's just about time. About time the fans had some standards. But we'll see if he proves everyone wrong. I really do hope he does. But I have to see it to believe it with a lot of players, not just in this attack, but in this entire squad.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think what you're saying is facts. And I think although you've got a great manager, the manager can only work with what he's got up there. And I still feel they're short. Just before we move on to Spurs for the last 10 minutes, Lawless, I want to get your thoughts on West Ham finishing above Chelsea this season. I imagine you must be confident after what you've seen.
Listen, we're in the conversation. Listen, but you know what, though? Like, I'm not being funny, but Lewis said it himself. That if they don't get the signings they need, top 4 could even be a struggle. So if top 4 is a struggle, they get dragged down to that top 6 range.
A struggle for him, mate.
No, but like, let's see. I think their defense is set, but if they can't score goals, boy. But yeah, no, I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be just fine. I've got them 4th. Unlike some people here that support certain northern team who had themselves as 4th, you know. I'm just
stick with it, mate. I'll stick with it. Look, I'm in for a penny, in for a pound, mate. Got to, haven't I? Got to.
Yeah, get what? Look, that's acceptable to you, Dan, isn't it? Oh, Potts, you don't get on to Dan about his 4th place. You get on to me about my predictions.
Listen, I told
Dan is crazy though. He's crazy.
I told Dan. I think we all laughed at that last week, and we were laughing now.
He needs more stick.
He needs more stick.
He's right. He does need more stick because we spent like a whole 30 minutes bashing United about how ill-equipped they are for this season, and then Dan says that they're going to finish fourth.
Tobes, don't make me take that picture down of you I've got downstairs, mate. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it.
Mate, I must admit, listen, like, you're one of those people, Dan United, who sticks to what they've said. So fair play to you, man. Listen, we're going to move on to Spurs. This super chat comes in. Taran says, "Where's the Liverpool fan from last show? Man had so much chest. Errol is not going to be a part of this show, but he will be part of this channel. Trust me." Fulham surprised everybody. Tobes, I want to bring this comment up.
Liverpool ain't in a race for Europe. They're comfortable. They're not.
Liverpool and City are not a race for Europe, in my opinion.
Before we go into, I got a run, but
cool.
Which is the perfect timing as you're about to get onto Spurs. But I'll just end by saying, let's not forget Southampton was shocking, absolutely shocking, terrible performance. Don't forget that. That's what I'm gonna say with you. Spurs are going to get their flowers, all of this, that, and the other. But let's not forget that Southampton were terrible, right? So
what about when we beat you in a similar manner? Were you terrible side as well?
Sorry, what is this? Is this the history channel or something?
It was literally like 3-4 months.
I thought this was 12-man podcast where we review the weekend's games. I thought that's what we did. Cool. I thought we reviewed the weekend.
This is why you get the stick, mate. This is why you get the stick, bro.
I've not said anything wrong. What have I said that's wrong? What have I said wrong?
It didn't need to be said. It didn't need to be said.
It did need to be said.
It didn't, because everyone acknowledges that
analyze both teams.
Everyone acknowledges that Southampton aren't a good side.
But what did you say? If we analyze the game, we got to analyze both sides. That's what you said.
Yeah,
I'm using your words.
Yeah, fair.
There you go. Thank you. Good night.
Lawless, always a pleasure, man. Get over to the Lawless on socials. Follow Dan Lawless, West Ham TV. Lawless, we'll see you next week, brother. Take it easy, man.
See you, Lawless, mate. See you, buddy.
Yeah.
Tobes, I want to bring this comment up, man, because I don't remember you saying this, but maybe you did. Neil saying Tobes said with chest that Kane will bag more goals than Haaland and Nunez. Is that true?
With chest?
I don't know if you did. I'm just bringing it up to see if you want to answer that. I don't know if you did say that.
I've not said that. I don't think I've said that on socials. I've only spoke about this on chats, but I do think Harry Kane will get the Golden Boot this season. I don't think it's mad for me to predict that a 3-time Golden Boot winner can win the Golden Boot this season. So I don't know about where this chest is coming from, but I'll back it anyway. I think Kane will score more than Nunez and Haaland.
Fair play, man. Although he wasn't great, was he? To be fair,
he was crap. He was crap. But it's whatever, man. He's had a gazillion good games. I can excuse one bad performance to open up the season when we won 4-1. So it's not that deep.
You played well though, man. I can't lie. And I looked every time you went forward, I thought you were going to at least create a chance or score. Conte's got that team drilled, you can see, and they're not even new signings. You must feel encouraged, particularly with Kulusevski, man. I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah, man, he's brilliant, man. He's one of the best signings we've made in like the last decade, in my opinion. Like he's been fantastic. The impact he's given us like almost immediately, and the maturity that he plays with is mental to me. Like he plays way beyond his years, and it's refreshing to see that Kane and Son don't even have to be at 100%, and he can sort of lift that attack. And what makes it even better was that the supporting cast as well did their bit, like players that have underperformed. Sessegnon, Emerson Royal, he had a good game. Sessegnon had a really good game. And then the midfielders doing their thing as well, the defense doing their thing. Like, it's good, man. Of course, Southampton are not a good side. I don't think they defended well, but we, like you said, we could and should have hit them for more than 4 on the day itself, and not once did we look like we were going to lose that game. We were in full control from the start. Even when they went to go down, we were in full control. And the good thing about this is none of our new signings started the game. So it bodes well that we can get this level of performance, albeit against poor opposition, but this level of performance from players that some of our fans don't like seeing in the starting lineup. So how that only speaks volumes about what type of team we could have when the players that we all think are better that we've signed come into the team. So yeah, it's good, man. It's good. I'm not getting too carried away, but I do like going to that ground and seeing us actually play good football, because it's something that we weren't able to say this time 12 months ago.
Yeah, I agree how good your football is, and I do believe what Conte will do is a madness at Tottenham, and I think he's already kind of done that, getting you into the top four with the side that you had. I thought was an unbelievable achievement with one transfer window, and what I'm seeing now in the summer, he's being backed. I love everything about the manager, and I'm worried, man. I can't lie. I think if Tottenham are going to ever win a trophy, it will be this season with Antonio Conte. But I want to get Lewis and Dan United's points on Spurs before we wrap up. Lewis, let's start with you, man. Tottenham, are you worried, mate? They're looking good, aren't they?
Yeah, I didn't really see too much of the game because I was on my way up to Everton, but the highlights, like Southampton just completely fell apart, especially in the second half. Kulusevski looks absolutely mad, and Tottenham didn't even play a lot of their new signings, which is even more refreshing to see. But I already knew Tottenham were going to be dangerous for this season. Like they would, I'll be real, they were the North London side I was the most worried about. The new signings and Antonio Conte's ability to get the best out of them. It's going to be an interesting season. Like Tottenham are definitely going to be up there. And I know I said the same thing with Jose, but if Conte don't win him a trophy, no one's winning a trophy with Tottenham, because the pair of them are meant to be trophy haulers. And I do believe Conte can 100% do it with Tottenham. Like there is definitely a mental block that Tottenham needs to beat, but Antonio Conte, I think, is that driven and that intense of a manager that if he doesn't force it out of them, he'll be gone before they even start really questioning him about it. But yeah, great performance from Tottenham. Great way to start the season as well. Will be interesting to see how both teams fare out on Sunday, because we got Tottenham on the weekend. But yeah, I look forward to it. It'll be a very interesting game.
Yeah, Dan, what's your thoughts on the Tottenham, mate? I mean, Manchester United, you've tipped for fourth. I guess Tottenham are there with you, man. I think you put Tottenham in there with you. So what's your thoughts seriously, bro?
I think, well, just a quick one on that. I did say fourth, but for me, fourth, I put Spurs running away. I did. I think fourth, fifth, sixth for me is going to be close. I do. I still believe that. It's one game in. There's a lot of football to be played. The one for me, Tobes, there's a couple of points I want to go to you with, mate. The first one is last season, if Kane and Son aren't scoring, and somebody put it in the chat there, you ain't winning. The fact that you're getting goals now without having to rely on them is going to be so key for the season moving forward. I think honestly, it takes a lot of pressure off them. But the second point is with Kane. I don't know about you, because you've watched Spurs for years. Kane reminds me so much the more he's bringing players in now of like Teddy Sheringham used to. His footballing brain is there. The way his passing ability is unreal for a striker. You never put a passing ability like that with a striker. So for me, what do you think happens with Kane? Do you think as he gets older, he does start to become that guy people play off as opposed to the goal scorer?
I think he's already that guy that we can play off. I think for me, he's doing both until he can't do one or the other. I think he's going to do both. I think he's going to be a really potent threat for us in the box this season. And I think when the situation requires it, he's going to drop deep. He's going to offer us the little give and goes and the nice, cute passes in between the lines as well. Like case in point, on Saturday, he was poor, but some of his little flick-ons to play one touch, two touch class. So, and it was a really bad day out because he fumbled a lot of passes that he would normally make. But I think he's going to be able to do both, because I feel like in my opinion, he's been doing both for the past couple of years. He's been able to have a passing influence on the game and also have a scoring influence on the game as well.
And he's a massive Conte player for that as well, isn't he? Conte loves that. Absolutely loves that.
Yeah, he does massively, and I do think that you're going to have a good season. I just worried, man. I can't lie, because I can't see anything but a good season for Spurs. There we go. I've said it.
Early days, but yeah, I think we're going to have a good season as well.
Yeah, it is early days. And a good season, in my opinion, for Spurs is a trophy, 100%, because that's something that all the Spurs fans have been bantered for over the years. Certainly in my era of football, is not winning anything. So it's going to be interesting to see what Conte can do. Last couple of things to do before we do wrap up. I want to talk about Chelsea's Tottenham. We're going to talk about it next week, obviously, but preview for it. Little bit of a prediction from all of us. I can see Tottenham beating Chelsea personally. I know it's not going to be a real it's going to be a tight game. Don't get me wrong. But I am going to go for 2-1 to Spurs. Lewis, I want to get your thoughts on this one, mate.
I'm gonna say probably 1-0 Chelsea, because I still don't think we're gonna get an attacker in. Yeah, 1-0 Chelsea. If we even get more than one, I'll be surprised.
Tobes, I'll let you have the last say. So Dan, I'll come to you next. What do you reckon the score will be, bro? Dan, what do you reckon?
Sorry, mate, I was taking a sip. For me, mate, I think Chelsea defensively, if they turn up, it's going to be solid. They're going to be hard to break down. Chelsea are going to, but again, we go back. Southampton were poor. I will agree with Lawless on that. So Chelsea are playing a different side here. I'm gonna go in the middle. I think 2-2. I think we get a few goals in this.
Fair play, Tobes. What's your thoughts?
I think it's going to end 1-1, man. I don't think we're going to see the same Chelsea that we saw against Everton. I'm not saying it's going to be a vintage Chelsea performance, but they are going to be much better simply because of the game at hand and simply because of the fact that it's their first home game of the season and they're normally quite strong against us at home. But I feel like we will have enough about ourselves to go there and not be phased by the occasion. Hopefully, in fact, I hope that's what's going to happen, because I feel like when you saw us go up against sides like Chelsea, or we went to the likes of Liverpool, Man City, for instance, we did relatively well, and I feel like it was the games against Chelsea where we were quite poor last year. So coming into this now with players that are fit, players that are available, the team setting Conte's method of playing, I feel like we can get a positive result provided we just play with bravery and not underestimate the opposition. So I think we're going to get a point.
Fair play, man. It's going to be a good one. It's one I'm looking forward to, and it's probably one of the biggest games of the week. So let's see what we're going to get next week. I want to thank you all in the chat. I want to ask you all to smash the like button. There's still 350 of you watching live. Please smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to the channel. And please do exactly the same to the guys. Go and follow Lawless. Go and follow Tobes. Go and follow Dan at Football One, and go and follow Carefree Lewis. All of their channels are in the description, guys. Please go, and it's free, man. Just hit a subscribe. It's so simple and it does so much to all the channels. Please do not go anywhere. At 7 p.m. you're going to have completely new guests on this channel with me talking about the fight for survival, so please stay tuned for that one. Hit the like on your way out. My thanks to Lewis, my thanks to Dan, and my thanks to Tobes. We will see you guys next week. I'll look forward to that one. Thanks for your time, and thank you all. Take care, guys.
Cheers.